Welcome back, everyone. Trip, you were going to tell us a little bit about free stuff to do in Utah, which you're the one that wasn't born and raised in Utah, and you know more than I do.
Well, there are so many wonderful things that you can do in and around Salt Lake for free. And one of the ones I mentioned earlier in the show is take a drive with your family. You can go up, either way, you can go up 80 into Park City. And Park City has some amazing stuff. The place that I love to take visitors to is the Utah Olympic Park, which right when you get off at Kimball Junction, you just go like you're going to Park City. About a quarter mile down the road, you make a right. And if you haven't been to the Olympic Park, it is just spectacular.
It's really cool. Those ski jumpers.
Ski jumper. I was up for the Olympic trials this year. Just marvelous.
Amazing.
And then they have the track where the toboggan was during the Olympics and luge. But during the summer, what happens is a lot of the athletes train here, and they, instead of when they do their flips, they go into a pool.
Yeah, that's a really cool show.
It is one of the coolest things I've ever been to.
I don't think people know it's kind of, most athletes come here because of the altitude. If you can train here and do well here, pretty much you're guaranteed it's going to be lower wherever you're going to compete.
This year's Winter Olympic team had so many athletes who either have moved here or were born here, who train here on the team. I mean, just astounding. And Utah is really the Olympic capital for winter sports. There's no question about it. One of the other cool things to do, and you're a former Park City resident, but people, I think as a Park City person, you don't appreciate how great historic Main Street is.
I do love historic Maine.
It is just so much fun, and you can park and walk the length of the street, and there are wonderful boutiques, shops, restaurants.
Museums, art museums, they have like farmers markets, and it's a lot of fun.
And then on your way back, instead of coming back on I-80, drive up to the end of Main Street and look for the sign, and you can go up over Guardsman's Pass, which used to be a pretty treacherous drive, and you want to at least have very good tires or four-wheel drive. Now the road's been improved so much you can take any passenger car over, and you go up, you wind around this new road that goes to this amazing resort in Deer Valley that's just very, very recent. Then you go up over the hill, and the topography is so different. Park City is not as elevated, it's not as rocky, it's much more...
There's not a lot of trees.
Not a lot of trees.
Because of the silver mining.
When you go up over the top into Big Cottonwood Canyon, it is just marvelous. It is such a beautiful view, and you drive by Brighton and down through Solitude, and it's a great trip. Tons of hiking hiking trails for the family. And one of my favorite is in Brighton. You go and you take the Brighton Loop and then stop at the first parking lot, and they've got an improved trail all the way around this lake. It is gorgeous. It's about a 3/4 mile hike. And it is beautiful. The family will love it. 20 degrees cooler. Now, I do have to warn you, you're not allowed to bring dogs into Big Cottonwood Canyon.
Really?
Because it's a watershed, either Big or Little Cottonwood Canyon. You can't bring, so I can't take CNN on this trip, though CNN is very welcome in Park City. So it's a beautiful, beautiful trip. It's free.
I think
take advantage of it.
Driving in Utah is just alone. If you're looking for something free to do, you can take a drive and pretty much find. I grew up in Sanpete County, in Manti specifically, and there's a little town called Fairview, and we used to go camping every year up Fairview Canyon off of Skyline Drive, which is pretty famous. The most beautiful canyon ever. Skyline Drive is just incredible. So if you're wanting to take a trip a little bit away, it's about an hour and a half away. It's like stunningly beautiful canyon.
We have so much beauty here in Utah. If you don't take advantage of it, you're missing out on a huge, huge part.
Yeah.
And also at Little Cottonwood Canyon, at Snowbird, they have added, now this isn't free, mind you, but they have tons of attractions that kids love, including, they just put in a new toboggan run. They've got a really cool thing for the kids where you strap into on trampolines, and you have a belt that goes around you, and you can jump up and do flips. All kinds of really cool stuff. The kids love it. And by and large, everything we've talked about is free. Obviously, you're going to have to feed the kids and stuff, but that being said, great way, and there's so many fun things to do. What's your favorite thing to do in the summer?
Honestly, I'm a runner. I haven't for the last couple years because I had a back injury. But as far as running goes, like in Park City, I did the rail trail every day, which was incredible because there's so many like paved, beautiful places to run in Salt Lake and Utah. It's like they cater to you. In fact, we were just reading about one in Moab that just opened up. That's like you can bike it, you can run it, walk it. But I love the whole running thing and running up and finding, like in LA, I did running every day. It's just fun to be outside.
And one of my favorite things to do in the summer is Liberty Park on rollerblades.
Oh, yeah?
And you can get in
Trip Mitchell on rollerblades.
Well,
oh my goodness, I have to see this.
It is wonderful. Now, here's the challenge.
Okay.
My dog does not do real well in terms of walking with me when I'm on rollerblades. CNN, if he sees something, he pulls. So
oh, I love seeing it.
Typically, that is not a very attractive thing to see some guy yelling at his dog on skates, being pulled around.
You have bad knees, Trip. You shouldn't be on rollerblades.
Rollerblades are fine. The running is the problem. But
Oh, okay. That's probably true.
what is interesting is that I always want to know the distance around Liberty Park, so I would drive around in my car to calibrate it. And all you do is go online and Google in that, and they've got it down to the foot.
Of course.
There's so much information there. But Liberty Park, now I live across from Sugar House
I
Park.
know. Have you figured that out?
No, I haven't done
The
it.
exact amount?
Sugar House Park has a challenge
Okay, what is
on
it?
rollerblades, and that's called hills.
Oh, yeah, that might be hard.
Yeah, at one time going down a hill and having to stop myself in the pond there, that's enough for
That
me.
didn't go so
yeah,
well?
flat is good when it comes to Liberty Park.
Me on wheels or like skis or skates? Yeah, no.
Not a pretty sight.
Do that. And I don't.
So take advantage of a lot of the free things that Utah has to offer. By all means, get out to the Great Salt Lake. If you've never been sailing, head out to the lake. It's just truly a great resource, and we are very lucky to be living in Utah. We'll have more of the show.